Hello, hello, hello. We're talking about Doctor Who again because, hey, Doctor Who, it gets some views, better than my music reviews. The ratings, oh boy, oh the ratings. Oh, let's not talk about the ratings. I'm not one of those naysayers that gets on the YouTubes and says, this is all woke nonsense. I mean, it is all woke nonsense, but um, it says more about the TV landscape than anything else. But yeah, the last episode that was released was the penultimate one of this season series, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, episode 7 of season series 14. According to the Doctor Who ratings accumulator, it came in at 2.2 million, which is the lowest. It's You thought Boom was bad, it's bottomed out even more. Yeah, it's just. Look, I've got my criticisms of the show because I think Russell T Davies's storytelling ability seems to have gone a bit on the wane somewhat. But even I thought that with it being the penultimate episode, there might be a bump in the ratings. Now, again, if you factor in the iPlayer, I mean, it could be that many people. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. It could be that many people went onto iPlayer to watch it in the early hours of Saturday morning, so that they weren't spoilt because there was a big reveal. There's a big story point. It will probably happen again. This coming Saturday. I for one will be tuning in early to avoid any spoilers, and that could be the thing. We've got to wait to see for the 7 days results to come in. But again, even Davies himself has admitted that it's not going as planned. But he said wait for the 28-day results. Seriously, so they're moving the goalposts. I think this is symptomatic of the TV landscape. I don't think it's all down to Russell T Davies, but if you, I don't know, cast somebody who isn't a complete unknown in the role, like Eccleston was in there, like Capaldi. I mean, crikey, even Whittaker was better known than Gatwa and Tennant, I think, because Tennant was still quite a minor character, and Matt Smith. I think you do need star power. You need a Hiddleston or a Cumberbatch to get bums on seats, perhaps. Just saying. But yeah, so this is where we're at. It's kind of bummed out. There have been commentators have been talking about something called the Nielsen ratings. Now, again, it's an American thing, which I don't know much about. All I know is about Barb. We have Barb over here, but they were saying in America called Nielsen ratings. And there was one article doing the rounds. This is Comic Book News who are doing this. Again, I don't know about their veracity. I don't know how reliable they are. But they talk about the Nielsen ratings and how it's failed to register at all in terms of the Disney viewing figures. It's not even hit the top 10 or anything, and that's a little bit concerning. So yeah, I'm just having a look. I've got the website up here now, and I'm just trying to find all the data center. There we go, top 10, and so they have top 10 streaming here, and you can see Bridgerton is leading the way. This is like everything. So you got Grey's Anatomy, Madam Web, Bluey. Bluey's the big one on Disney, right? And there was this bizarre rumour that Disney took on Doctor Who as a deal to get the rights to show Bluey. Yeah, because Bluey is a BBC Australian co-production. And I thought, when I first heard that, I thought, no, that can't be right. But now, seeing this, that Bluey is holding its own there. Bluey is an animated kids show for little kids. I'm beginning to think maybe they're right. But as you can see, in the top 10, there's nothing there. The comic book website actually said that they went to the actual Disney, like the Disney ratings. It didn't even make the top 10 of the Disney ratings. I can't find it on here. They obviously know where to look better. But again, if you look at original content, it's good to see. It's good to see the breakdown. Bridgerton again still doing very well for Netflix. Evil on Paramount. The Ashley Madison documentary on Netflix. Fallout on Prime Video. Fallout is done. That's come storming in. That's good to see. And Clarkson's Farm, which again, it's good to see Clarkson's Farm and Baby Reindeer doing well, because they're British shows. So that's interesting to see. And then you've got the acquired category. That's where these are programs that they've brought in that they don't make themselves. And there you go, Bluey. It's the top show for Disney, just shy of Grey's Anatomy, but there's not a lot in it. And again, it's fascinating to look at. So yeah, it's not really doing much on Disney at all, but then it never would do, because Doctor Who in America, and that's Disney Plus, is kind of it's going to be mainly America, even though it's got global reach. Doctor Who's nothing there in terms of sci-fi. It's a cult. It really is a cult program in America, and it never really had the mass appeal of insert your favourite science fiction program here. So it was always a bit of a long shot for Disney to put all its money. We don't know how much money has been put into Doctor Who. It doesn't look like a lot of money has been put into the new season series. So it'd be really interesting to know what kind of budgets we're talking about. But Bluey is doing really well. Apparently Bluey is the top of the Disney charts, week in, week out, and is doing very well. But Doctor Who didn't even graze the top 10. There were rumours. Again, this is rumours. This is only stuff that we can't corroborate. One insider said that the streaming figures were hitting something like 52,000. Now, I don't know if that's watch minutes, because they do a lot of things in watch time, or if that is actual individual peepers watching the show. I do not know, but that isn't very good. Now, the whole thing about this is that TV's changing anyway. And this is the really interesting thing. This is only for America, I might add. This is the Nielsen figures again, but they show you a breakdown of habits. And this is for April of this year. And this is what's really interesting, is you've got broadcast at 22%, cable 29%, other at 10.4%, and streaming. Streaming is now the dominant medium for content delivery. And then when you break this down further, YouTube's ahead of everybody, followed by Netflix. And when you look at Disney, it's only putting not even 2%. If you round it up, it's 2. You could call it 2% of that 38%. So we're talking niche. And this is what you say again, even on all of this. When you look at what broadcasting, you can say broadcast and cable are the same thing. We could put those into the same category, and that would trounce the entirety of streaming. But if you break that down, you can see that Netflix itself is only pulling in 7.6%, which is nothing compared to broadcast and cable combined. These are minority niche programming. And so when they go, insert show's name is a great success on Netflix, it's nothing compared to the potential figures that could be got by traditional means, broadcast and cable. So this is really interesting. I find this quite fascinating, that there hasn't been this mass jump, and the streaming platform is incredibly fragmented. And again, YouTube it doesn't say whether it's YouTube, the subscription side of YouTube, or it's just the free side. I mean, again, YouTube is a free streaming service, so you can see why it would hold those figures. But yeah, Paramount doesn't even bring in a 1%. Peacock 1.3. It's got 1% for Paramount, 0.8% for Pluto TV. Pluto TV over here is a free channel. You know, I think a lot of these others are subscription. We don't get Hulu. I don't think we get Tubi. I think Roku might be a freebie. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how these figures are broken down and how fragmented the landscape is when it comes to, I hate to use it, the C word, content, when it comes to content delivery. And again, with Doctor Who, it's, again, should they have taken Disney money? I think they've been better off doing a production with Netflix. Netflix is the winner. You know, even Prime Video, you know, if you discount YouTube and go to the paid services, it's Netflix and Prime, which is, again, I'm surprised at. I didn't think that Prime was such a... But then we're only talking about 3.2% of that share, which is nothing. It's nothing. All of this is nothing. And yeah, what you're going to see now, again, this is moving away from Doctor Who talk, is you're going to see these. They're going to have to raise their prices because they need to, pay for the content that they host. People will get tired because there's this constant churn of content, and you've got to keep your audience interested. It's a very hard job to do. And eventually, these channels will consolidate. You're already seeing it in certain aspects. I think Paramount have consolidated with Discovery and whatnot. You will see more consolidation, and eventually it'll be Netflix and Prime that will be dominating the paid services. And Disney, again, which is, according to figures, hemorrhaging money. Again, it puts all this money into shows like Star Wars. They've got the Acolyte on at the moment, and the various movies. Again, the movies goes onto that platform that they pull out, Marvel and Disney movies. But to only have 1.8% of viewership, I just can't get my head around how tiny these figures are, and that broadcast and cable is still hanging in there. The traditional media is still hanging on. I thought, again, that would have been more, it's catching up though. Streaming is catching up, But yeah, fascinating. A fascinating split of the figures. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, we know we got Doctor Who for another season series. So 15 is in the bag or in the can. I would love to see where all the money went. Maybe Russell T Davies spent Disney money on getting his teeth fixed. He wears braces. I mean, he's older than me, and he's getting his teeth aligned. What's that all about? Is that to meet the Disney execs? He doesn't want to have a smile from the British Book of Smiles. But yeah, I was shocked that he's kind of bumming out again, because they're my team. I want Doctor Who to be successful, and you do wonder, how can you make something appeal to a mass audience now? Because you've seen Star Wars, they've done various shows, but again, Disney are very, very, very cagey about their viewing figures. They won't tell you. They spend a lot of money on this stuff, but they won't tell you. They won't tell you what's been watched. Again, how many people watched Obi-Wan or the Book of Boba Fett? Who knows? But how do you sustain all this? How can you keep pumping money into this, yet no one is actually watching? And people are more likely, to watch YouTube than Disney. This is the thing. But how can you create content that is going to appeal to the mass market now? I don't know. The stars, again, like I say, put big names into it, but is that enough to pull people in? I mean, I'd like to think that storytelling is enough, but the way the landscape is now, and the way that the genie is out of the bottle, thanks to the internet and the high-speed internet and streaming, I think this is just, they're on a road to great calamity. And I've always wondered. I mean, Apple TV isn't even on that list. I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, one day Apple buys out Disney, and then Apple starts picking off the others. It's going to go something like that, where Disney makes a big mistake and they get eaten up by one of the others. But yeah, it's a strange time we live in, where the mass appeal of mass media is on the wane, because there are so many things to entertain yourself with. And it's not like the old days when we only had, 3 channels on the television and radio and whatnot. It's all gone, and this is a result of the post-cultural world I keep going on about. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've kind of whittled on a bit, but yeah, it's just interesting to see how the figures break down and what this means for Doctor Who. Again, I'm not just picking on Doctor Who. All the other TV shows are going through the same thing. But what is interesting, if you do look at the UK figures, is you do get original drama doing very, very well for both BBC and ITV. So I think people are still drawn back by a good story. The drama about the post office scandal was a big thing, relatively big thing in terms of ratings. And again, the shows that the BBC put on, the original dramas they put on, always pull in an audience. So I think people are always open to a good story, and I think good stories are more important than trying to cram that message into everything. And I think people need to take note of that. Thank you for watching. My name is Darren Lock. I'll be talking about Doctor Who and the ratings and how fragmented the landscape is when it comes to broadcasting. Hopefully this was interesting. Thank you. Ta-ta.